Hello and welcome to Conscious Conversations. This is the brand new series, and we're starting off this one with Manu Clouet, who is a very, very good friend of mine. We met 12 years ago in London at Landmark Forum, but that's a whole other conversation. Welcome,
Yes.
Manu.
Hey, Maddie, nice to see you.
So good to see you. And you are
Thank you so much
in,
for the invitation.
of course, and you're in Aix-en-Provence, which is in the south of
Yes,
France. Can you tell everyone
it
exactly
is.
where that is?
So it is basically 2 hours away from Nice. If you look at Nice on the map, you go on the west side and then you get to Aix-en-Provence, which is closer to Marseille. Marseille is the second biggest city after Paris, which is close to the beach in the south.
Oh, I have such great memories of Nice, but it's just so exciting. And
Beautiful.
we met in London, and you were in London for like over 10 years, and then you decided to go back to France. So, what was the main reason for that?
So that was actually 17 years in London, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yes. Um, so basically, a long story short, in 2015, my life changed drastically because I was suffering from stress, insomnia, chronic pain, and through transcendental meditation, I managed to heal all of that. And all of a sudden, I think the universe was like, okay, now she's rested. We're going to show her where to go. So I was kind of here, and the universe went, this is the door to your life. So that's changed everything in 2015. And I started studying coaching, NLP. And then I decided to kind of change my career because at the time I was a project manager for Marks and Spencer's in London, in logistics, supply chain, all that kind of stuff, very exciting. And then I decided that that's not for me anymore. I just wanted to help other people to really live their best life, basically.
I'm going to stop you.
And in,
I'm going to stop you there for a second because I want to get to that. And I
yeah,
am actually, before we go on any further, I just want to share with everyone that the topic today we're going to be talking about is pain and strategy and resistance and recovery because Manu has been through so much based on everything that she just shared with us just now. And it's been so impressive. We've been very close friends and following each other through our journeys. But before we even get into that, I like to usually start with an angel prayer. So we'll set the tone and we'll have an angel prayer. And this one is actually for peace, comfort, and protection. And then we can carry on and you can let us know a little bit more about since France and just how you've managed the whole pain strategy thing, if that's good for you.
sure,
Okay,
definitely.
so this is a prayer for peace, comfort, and protection. Dear God, angels, and archangels, thank you so much for always surrounding me and for bringing me your peace, comfort, and blessings. I ask for you all to be especially strongly present with me right now. Please envelop me in your beautiful angelic wings of light. Bring me comfort and peace of mind, and bring me back to my true self. I'm so grateful for your presence in my life. Thank you, God, to the universe and to your angels for watching over me and my family and my friends for now and always. And so it is.
Lovely.
Yeah, this is from the book 365 Days of Angel Prayers, and I absolutely love it.
It's
So,
beautiful.
So continue, Manu. So we were talking about, sorry, you were basically talking about how you got decided to go back to France after London and after 17 years in London. And can you tell us a wee bit about, like you were saying that the universe was saying, no, don't go through here, walk through this door. Can you talk a little bit about like some of the things that happened to you that were really challenging that you were then able to work through?
So basically, when I've decided to make the choice to go back to France, I decided to resign. And the day I resigned, my back locked. So I had chronic back pain for ages, for years actually, but it was always like, oh, my back is locked, and then I go to the osteopath and here you go, you can run again, great. So that was kind of going for years, which is kind of painful, but not like that bad. And that day I was like, wow, literally my spine moved on the sides. I was like, my legs were here and my upper body was totally twisted. So I was like, this is strange. And then my osteopath was like, I don't know what's going on because I can't do anything for you. Like, you're really locked. And I was like, okay. And he was like, what is going on? I was like, oh, nothing. I'm just going back to France after 17 years, just changing my life around. And he was like, well, I think you might want to look at the emotional, side of that. And I didn't really find like a physical cure in London. I really went from one technique to the next and next therapist. And that was really tough because as the time was going on, I was more like bending and I had pain. I had like a bulge disc developing. I had sciatica on the right, sciatica on the left. And by the end of the 3 months, I could hardly walk, basically.
Wow.
So I moved back to France and I had to go back to my parents' place because I couldn't function on my own, really. I could hardly walk. So, and I had like body pain, I had morphine, I had Valium, and they started giving me like really heavy medication in order to just like be. And that was tough because just going back to your parents, where all I wanted to go is move down south, and I was north by then in a farm in the middle of nowhere. I didn't live for 25 years, so I was like, why am I here? Like, what is this? And this is when I met Duke, that Duke Sayer, who did a session on me actually 2 months before I left London, and I was like thrown. I was a bit like, whoa, what was that? So that was like a healing technique. And then I realized the emotional baggage that was behind my back. And I went, oh my God, this is so heavy. So I had to deal with 6 months of that kind of emotional pain and physical pain, and then emotional journey through working through all those beliefs, all those blockages, all those fear, because the lower back is actually all the fear around I'm not going to be able to make it on my own. It's about primary needs.
Yeah.
So it was all around the security, especially the financial security, which is a very strong value in my family.
Yeah.
But when you go home and you're like, yeah, I'm going to run my own business and I don't work anymore and I don't care. For me, it was a very conscious decision. But my body was like, no, that is too hard. You're not going to go through this. And by the time as I was at my parents' place, it was kind of the gift behind that is I don't need to work and I don't need to set up my business because my parents are looking after my primary needs. They're feeding me. I've got a roof over my head. So I was safe being sick, if that makes sense. So that was the gift.
I actually wanted to say about that for me, the lower back, I've had lower back problems on and off throughout my life. And it was always a time I was feeling unsupported, which is kind of what you're saying, like when you're feeling unsupported, and whether it was an argument with a partner at the time, or I wasn't making enough money at the time, and then my back would go and it would go out for weeks and I wouldn't be able to walk. So it totally makes sense what you're saying. And with regards to Duke Sayers' experiential healing program, you've done that, right? We've both done that.
Yes. So
yeah.
I did it for a year.
But did you practice it? Did you become a practitioner?
Yes, I did, because basically when I joined that program, I just wanted to receive sessions from him. But by the time he launched the program, he was like, I'm no longer doing individual sessions. So you need to enter my course in order to get healing. I was like, oh God, another thing to learn. But then I thought, that's the only way, to heal. So I'm just going to join. So I joined, and at the time it was 3 months.
Yeah. I was just going to say, we've both done that program now and used it on ourselves and on other people. And it's a really powerful technique that actually we can use in our coaching. We've probably both learned that from our coaching already anyway. So I love that you have been that you were able to use that on yourself to help heal you.
Yes, and so I use it on myself, but I'm using it pretty much every day on all my clients, because that is a core tool to go into the unconscious And the unconscious is so big comparing to the conscious that actually you're like, oh yeah, I've got this fear. Okay, what's down there? You know, where does it come from? Is it from your like ancestors? Is it from past life? You know, we don't know. So this work is so important because you don't really know what is the belief actually system which is unconscious. So this technique is amazing, and it really helped me because when I managed to get proper care for the mechanical aspect of my body, so the physical body, my recovery was really fast then, because the whole emotional was processed. So I didn't have to go through all the therapy because actually I was done. I was like, done that. So now I just needed to move my body, which was all around stretching and, you know, going back to that motion. And just for people who have lower back issues, the key is to move. Even though it's so painful, the key is to move, is not to stay lying down and not to move, even though it's very contradictory, because when we have lower back issue, we cannot actually move. But that is the key to recovery physically, is to stretch it and to move it, strengthen it. So that was the first experience.
I was going to say that, yes, the key is to move, but you've already said that the key, the root of it is the emotional stuff behind it. So once you actually can figure out what the emotional piece is, which is making your back lock in the first place, which is tied deep, really rooted into your unconscious, then once we've worked on the emotional stuff, you can then work on the movement. That's what you're saying, right? For you.
Yes, but there is other parts of that which are for me very important, because I just realized, because I'm going through another different pain, but I'm very good with body pain. It's like, oh, here's your body again. You know, it's nothing slightly, no, it's like, here's an injury and off you go, work with that. So what I've realized with body pain is that for me, there was different stages. And the first stage is frustration and anger, because you're like, you don't want to be in pain. I mean, who wants to be in pain? So, you know, it's like, oh yeah, it's not like, oh, I'm welcoming this pain into my life. No, there is like this resistance, this anger, frustration, sadness, because of course you have all this project and you're locked and you cannot do what you want to do. So for me at the time, I could not let go of that resistance. And I think it's because I wasn't ready to jump, make that proper jump. So I was resisting. So I was attaching myself to my pain. But for me, that's the first stage. And then there is a day, and that can be long for people, that can be like months or years. There is a day where you can decide to let go of the resistance and to accept this pain, which is part of you, and it's here to heal you, actually. That makes sense.
Yes, definitely.
So for me, that was a very long process, which is the process of accepting this pain. And the day you accept it, you can be very gentle and look after your body, as in sending a lot of love to your body, as opposed to, oh my God, this is painful again, and I can't walk, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. So that's the anger. When you accept it, you're like, okay, today, how am I feeling? Okay, I can feel it's getting better. So I'm going to really heal myself. I'm going to take the time. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to take it slow, and being really grateful for every other part of your body that actually works. And gratitude is, for me, the first thing we should do every day. And I've got this book, and where is it? My favorite book, which I think is the French version, which probably you know, The Magic.
Oh yes, I have that one. La Magie. I love that.
La Magie.
I thought you were
28 days of gratitude.
I love that book.
Which is oh my God, and for me, the body, if I knew that book at the time, I would have wrote gratitude all day about my body, because you know, when you're in pain, you're like, oh my God, you know, I'm in pain, and this is unfair, and everything that goes around that. But every other day of the year, you're not grateful for anything, and especially not your body, because you take it for granted. And, you know, because you went through like, you know, physical pain too. So it's like now I've got a Post-it, which is taken from that book, saying, I think my health is a gift. And, you know, I'm so grateful for my health. You know, there is like a day like this, and it's always in my bathroom, because every day I'm like, thank you so much for my body that works, you know, like
I actually have two books.
that enable me to.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I actually have two books beside me. I thought you were going to show this one. So this one is You Can Heal Your Life with Louise Hay.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
same author, she does, I know it's back to front on the screen, but Love Your Body. And these are affirmations for
No, I
every
can see it
single,
actually.
oh, okay, these are affirmations for
Oh,
every single part of your body. And this really helped me as well. This one, I love it.
oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I never read that one.
It's just a wee,
There is another one.
it's just a small, a little one with an affirmation for each part of your body. So I love that
Oh,
one.
that's so good. Yeah.
I'm actually
And
just looking to
I
see
think
if,
it's,
oh
yeah, go
yes,
on.
I was going to say
If there is one
there's
for the
one.
back,
Would you say it was your back or your spine?
spine
Okay, so listen to
is
this.
the
This is
spine.
this is her affirmation for the spine. I love my spine. My spine is a place of harmony and love. Each vertebra is lovingly connected to its neighbors. There is perfect, smooth interaction between them all. This makes me strong yet flexible. I can reach to the heavens and bend to the earth. I choose the thoughts that keep me safe and free. I love and appreciate my beautiful spine.
Oh, that is amazing.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is so beautiful. And it's so, I mean, it's so important when you're in pain to have this kind of tool because what I found with physical pain, it goes through straight into your head and it goes straight into your emotion. And and as soon as you feel the pain, you're in resistance and you're not in a very good vibe. You're not in gratitude. You're not, you're not in any of that. You're like, oh my God, get out of my body, you know?
Mm.
And I think this is the tools that you need. And actually, I didn't know like La Magie at the time, or I didn't have that. And I didn't have this kind of book. But I found another book, which is a dictionary. You probably know that one. I don't know the name in English, but I'll post it. It's from Jacques Martel, who is from Canada, Quebec. And he wrote this book, and basically it's a dictionary, and he's giving you every single body part, and he's telling you the emotional belief around that and how you can heal with affirmation as well.
Oh
And for the
wow.
spine, is like the top of the spine, the different vertebrae, the middle one, and then the lower back. And then it tells you exactly what, you know, what belief you need to create in your head. And this is so useful when anything that happens, because I burned myself recently and I was like, I went through the dictionary, what does that mean? What is this around, you know, like the burn? What does it actually mean? So, and it's so helpful to actually know and try to make some links. I mean, this is what we do, but sometimes you just don't know. You're like, oh my God, you know, the universe is, you know, you're like on the victim mode. Actually, there is
Mm.
always something behind that. It's not an accident. There is no
Yeah,
accident for
I
me.
that's what I said to you when I heard. How is your burn, by the way? Is it healing? Is it healed yet, or is it still in healing?
It's healing. Yeah, it is in
Wow.
healing. I think it's going to take weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Um, yeah, probably months. I can't go to the sun next summer, so that's going
You
to take
can't
a
go to the
while.
sun,
Yeah.
did you say?
Well, it's winter now, but next year they said next summer I need to keep it
Oh
hidden,
my goodness.
just for the skin to recover. Yeah, my hot water bottle split or melted in
That is just
as I went to bed.
so crazy. I can't believe, I mean, that's the first time I've ever heard that happening. And hot water bottles have been used for eons. I wonder if that's ever happened to anyone else. That's like something you could sue someone for. That's crazy.
Yeah, it did. I mean, since it happened last 2 weeks ago, obviously I talked to a lot of people and they said, oh my God, a lot of people said I never use them again. I use like the dry ones with like cherry stuff. How do you call it? Cherry stones. I didn't even know they existed, but
Is that something you put
yeah,
in the microwave? Is that one that you would put?
yeah.
Yeah, I've used these ones, but hot water bottles, I grew up with these and my grandma used them, and I've never heard of anything like that. But I
I
do
think
know that you're supposed to, like when I was a kid, and if I ever used one, if I was really, really cold, then we would always put in boiling water. But then over the years, I remember someone saying, it might have been my mom or my grandma, put in cold water first and then put in the hot water so that it's not boiling. You know, it's still warm, it's still hot enough, but not totally boiling.
and I think now you've got a kettle, and if you have a kettle, you know the kettle stops as soon as the water comes to a boil. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not that hot. But I was at my parents and they don't have one. So I
Right.
put it in the pan. I was boiling, and then I was off brushing my teeth, and it was just boiling really hard. And then I went straight in, and then it was fine. But I think over the 10 minutes, it
Mm-hmm.
just started to melt. And by the time I went to bed, I was literally it's melted. It just yeah, it just first on
Oh
my
my
legs.
gosh. Well done you, because you are like, you sound amazing and you're on getting on with it. I actually wanted to ask you, the book that you talked about from that author from Montreal, is does it come in English? Has he written it, the book in English?
Yeah, I think so. It's called Jacques Martel.
Jacques Martel.
Martel.
Uh-huh.
And it's the dictionary. I'm sure we can find it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably in English because, if it's in Quebec, it's probably it's been translated, I'm sure, in pretty much many languages. So yeah,
Right, right. Oh,
very good.
wow. So you have basically, so to recap, you have a pain. We're working on how you deal with the emotional side of it and the thoughts around it. And then you really move into the physical and moving your body and letting go of the resistance by feeling more acceptance towards it and doing whatever affirmations or gratitude that you can to help your body free up. And then with regards to the recovery, how do you then maintain that, like to make sure that it's not
Oh,
going to go into that again? What's your process?
well, what I've realized for me is, you're going to laugh about that, but my analysis is, anything there is a reason behind it. But for
Hmm.
this accident, which is an accident, the burn, is I've realized that I've got a program running, and we learned that in experiential healing is a program or a belief, which is the same, is I've got the belief that I can only rest when I have an accident.
Mm.
So if I need
Wow.
a rest, and this is coming from my dad, because my dad has always had many accidents, and that was the only break he had in his job because he was a farmer, so farmers don't really rest. And he had
Hmm.
major accident where he was resting in hospital recovering. But for
Hmm.
him, and subconsciously, but I didn't realize, for me it was very similar, because I'm really hardworking, but I find it really difficult to rest. And when I rest, I've got all this thing going on my mind. I shouldn't rest. I should do this. So it's very much around accepting that it is safe to rest, and I
Hmm.
don't need to have an accident or a heating problem or a back problem in order to allow myself to rest. So this is very much my journey. My personal journey is resting without feeling scared or shameful or worried that everything stops just because I'm resting, because I
Yeah, or
deserve a rest and actually need it.
yeah, or guilty. I mean,
Guilty,
it's so interesting.
totally, is
I was just
guilt.
talking about this yesterday that for me, after doing a bunch of angel readings and feeling really like I was working all day Sunday, it's like Sunday was not a restful day for me anymore because it tends to be when I do a lot of angel readings for people all over the world. And I found that my body, I mean, I can hold the space and I'm so happy doing it. But afterwards, it's so important for me to recharge my batteries. And so I've actually dedicated Mondays now for me for self-care. Like it's my self-care day, like doing nothing, hot bubble bath, just going for a walk with the dog and just making to
Yeah,
having brunch at like 1 o'clock, just really taking it easy. And after
yeah,
one day of that, like one day of that per week is just really life changing because it just stops
it
that
is.
go, 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 like have to do this, have to do that energy all the time. So, and then
Yeah,
you have more to give back.
it definitely. And the funny thing about it is burn is guilt. So here you
Oh,
go.
isn't that
So
amazing?
that's
I love
amazing.
that.
So
I love
I'm
that
actually
about,
healing that tomorrow. Yeah.
oh, good for you. I was going to say, I love that about if you look at all the things that go wrong in your body that to us feel like it would be easy to say, why is this happening to me? Why did this happen? Like to me, as in I'm the victim, and to know that there's something deep in our consciousness or
Yeah.
uh,
The
unconscious,
subconscious. Yeah.
subconscious, thank you, subconscious, that we actually can get, once we can really get to what that is, we have much more control over how we're living our lives and what's going to unfold for us because it's so
Yeah.
subconscious.
It is so subconscious, and then it gives you tools and ideas of, okay, I've got a guilt going on, so I just need to let go of that guilt. And then it's
Mm,
easier because then you can just let go and say, okay, fine, I'm just going to do the minimum, I need to do, and then I can just rest. And then writing affirmations, like affirmations I've got post-its of affirmations everywhere in my flat, but I just wrote the new ones today just because of that. And I was like, okay,
mm-hmm.
it's time to refresh, the affirmation board, because affirmation should be always linked to what you're going through. It's not like an affirmation you have and then after 2 years you don't see it anymore because your brain even doesn't even see it anymore. So it's always keeping it fresh in order to keep your mind working on something that, what are you going through right now? It's guilt. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure like I can rest without feeling guilty. So I need an affirmation for that. And then you see it, and after a few weeks it's fine, and then you move on to
Oh, I
the
love
next
that.
challenge.
Love that. Yeah, the next challenge. And there's always something to work on. There's always something. But hopefully, the more we are aware and connected to the fact that our body is like, it's so connected, mind, body, and soul, and that if we're much more conscious of our thoughts and our emotions and what we want for ourselves, what we really want for ourselves,
Yeah,
then the chances are your body is going to be a lot healthier, like
yeah,
ongoing. Yeah.
yeah.
And I
And
think it's
and
amazing.
also the capacity to recover faster, I think.
Yes, I think it's amazing how much we subconsciously take from our upbringing and from our parents who were doing their best and they're just being them, being themselves. But the imprint is always so strong and we carry it through our lives for
Oh,
like all through our adult lives and we don't know where it's come from.
I
You can
know.
be really successful and everything's going really well and then suddenly something happens or something is not happening or you're blocked and you're like, why is it, how is this even possible? And it's that thing again. It's like, I think for me, I've come to realize that if I ever ask myself, like, why is this happening in brackets to me, then there's a victim mentality there. And it's like, okay, how am I going to flip this over? And one of the key phrases that I've learned recently through Michael Bernard Beckwith is what wants to emerge? Like, what wants to emerge through me
Mm.
right now? And I love that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a very different way of looking at the situation.
Mm,
And if you can switch from a victim to, I'm learning something here, I'm
mhm,
growing, which is definitely, I think that switch takes time, in a physical pain, because when you work through emotions, it's hard because of course when you go through like deep ones of emotional ones, it's hard. But if your physical body cannot help you, then it's even harder because you've got the emotional and you've got the physical and your physical pain, which is, I think, the double challenge.
yeah.
But yeah, so interesting to see, as your mom got back problems, oh yeah, or as your grandma had back problems, oh yeah, so it's not mine. Thanks for that. So
Yes.
yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy,
And we've only
crazy.
got about 5 minutes, but I know that you and I have also really talked about the shamanism, the shaman retreats that you've been on recently in France, and I've been really
Yes.
wanting to go to one. But I just wanted to know if you're able to. We can talk about this another time in detail next time. But is there anything that you can say about how that attending one of these retreats has actually really helped you with this everything that's been going on with pain and recovery and that kind of thing?
Oh, so this has been a journey, and just to make it short, basically the retreats I've been on is not to use plants or anything like that. You don't take plants, but you heal through drums. So
Drums.
it's basically, yeah, so the sound of drums, and we all vibration. So obviously the drum will vibrate through your body, and
Mm.
anything that needs to be healed or coming
Release.
out of you, any
Yeah.
emotions will be released. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for them. My God, I'm losing my English now. Released will be released. And my experience of it was observing my own resistance, because everybody was releasing stuff and I was like, nothing is happening for me, and I'm hearing the drums and I'm not going anywhere and I'm still in my mind, and I was like so frustrated, and why them and not me? You see the guilt. And then it hit me like a bomb, literally on day 4. We had 5 days. And literally on day 4, it was sadness that came through me. And
Mm.
that was such a wave. And that's something I never experienced to the real life, to that state, to that, um, how do you say, to that strength, I would say. So it was deep, deep,
Depth.
deep sadness.
Depth. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really like so deep and so sad. But when you are crying for 2 hours and you don't know why, it's like
Mm.
it's very weird. So it's the same. It's just another tool to let you release something that is really deep in you that is being suppressed, or you don't know what's there, in order to release it. But when you release it, you just need to let yourself go and let yourself live the experience. And that's what I've experienced on the first retreat, which was amazing. And I really invite anyone who is called. I think it's a calling. For me, I didn't really know what it was, and I met this girl, and at the wedding actually last year, I was like, I don't know what you do, but I need to go to your retreat, which I did, and on my second one now in July. And July was more around theory, and the theory was, where do we come from? Why are we on Earth? What's the drill? Why are we not somewhere else? And why is it so hard? And where do we go? And I love that topic, because this is something that really, it's all the question that I've been wondering. I had a lot of answers for the last 5 years. And then for me, it was all of that all of a sudden makes sense. The reason why we're here, the reason why we have a body, the reason why we have body pain, the reason why there is so much violence, the reason why we experience all this stuff. And it was in a way very liberating to see that there is something way bigger than that we're not aware, and we just need to be able to, live what we have to live. But this is not the end of us at all. Well, that's my own belief anyway.
And it's the reason, and when you're saying the reason, it's not love, like to grow and expand and to experience life in a physical human body, and then really learn how to evolve and grow and love yourself and love another person. Is that maybe some of the answers that you got, or what were your some of your reasons?
One of the things that I understood is definitely a soul coming to experience a physical body, and not the opposite. So your soul can be, can have experienced that so many times, as we know, past life and hundreds of past life, if you're not learning, if you're not growing. So as soon as you come into this life, and as we both are, in a consciousness experience, so we kind of know, we understand there is way bigger, so we're on that journey. Some people are on that journey yet. The reason why Earth is because the way I understand it in the cosmos, there's so many galaxies and planets you can go, okay, in a different form. But the physical form you come here because you have to heal yourself and you have to release. And the reason why you come here is because Earth has got a quite low vibration, and that's one of the only planet, so you can put down your baggage and go lighter.
Oh, I love that.
And that's because the vibration is lower. And if you were in a really light vibration, you're not able to, to leave your stuff. So you have to have quite a low vibration in order to leave all your baggage, release and put all that stuff behind, so you can go lighter. That's and the idea is not to come back on Earth. The idea is to go somewhere else, lighter, where it's more fun. You can do whatever you want.
I love that. That's so awesome. And do you think you're going to do another one, or is that is the second retreat, shaman retreat?
I'm going to do another one.
You're going to do another one?
I'm going to do another one in May. Yeah.
Oh, I want to come with you.
Everything is come. You have to learn French, though.
That's a good point. Yeah, I need to brush up on my French. I
translate everything for you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. It's very much being in the present moment, constantly going back to how you feel right now. What is going on in your head? How am I feeling right now? And, constantly being so present in everything that you do, so you can heal every second of the day. And release, I love that. Release.
And that's such a great reminder. It's such a great reminder just to be present, because so many of us live in the past or live in the future, and it's all about the present moment. And that's one of Louise Hay's one of my favorite quotes of Louise Hay's: the point of power is always in the present moment. And oh my goodness, we're out of time, and I could talk to you about this for ages, for hours. So definitely continue this another time, maybe do another conversation. I know that you and I will chat about it, but
yes,
thank you so much for sharing all of this with us, Manu, and I hope that your burn heals really fast.
Yes, it's all good. It's healing very well. Thank you so much for the invitation. I really enjoy brushing up my English. I haven't spoken English in a conversation for 2 years, so I can see how much I'm losing it quickly.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you in French and you talk to me in English, and we can practice.
We do that in the next conversation next time. See who can understand that.
Yeah, right. See you soon, love. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Bye.
Maddie.
Bye.
Bye.